Hi, okay, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to introduce a new series on my channel. I wanted to start, I don't know what I'm going to call it, but they're just going to be essentially video diaries about topics that I'm passionate about and things that I've personally gone through that I want to talk about. And in my opinion, it's definitely a good outlet for me to find clarity on past situations, but I hope it'll be a good outlet for people who've gone through the same things as me to find clarity as well. So as you can tell from the title, today I'm going to focus on friendship breakups, the aftermath, and more importantly, how to heal. So I've gathered some points that I wanted to talk about in today's episode. I won't keep you here long though, don't worry. I actually have filmed this a couple times where I went pretty long, probably around 20 to 30 minutes, but I want to keep this short, but the intro's taking up a lot of time, so I'm gonna lock in. So, like I said before, friendship breakups, I wanted to touch on the reasons that friendship breakups happen, how to heal from them, and just moral values that I have about it, and advice, essentially. Sorry if you hear background noise, I can't really do anything about that, because this is all filmed in one take on a computer with occasional pauses. But anyway, so let's start with the reasons. So, friendship breakups, no matter who it's with, no matter how close you are, but usually depending on how close you are, it hurts more. But no matter what, it hurts. You lost someone that you like to spend time with, and the closer you are, I guess you could say you lost someone that you've placed your heart into, your trust, and that's a lot of you, and that takes a lot of courage to do. So there are two main ways that I would two most common ways that a friendship breakup occurs, in my opinion, would be growing apart or just drifting, and then betrayal. So let's start. Growing apart / drifting. Now, I think that this happens a lot, especially as a teenager, because, well, in your prime years of high school, you're finding yourself, you're finding your group of friends, but I think this is definitely very, very common when people go from elementary school to high school. I have a bunch of friends from elementary school that I don't really talk to that much anymore. No bad blood at all, but we just went to different schools and haven't had the time, and obviously because high school is like a big turning point for a lot of teens, it's a time period where you're growing and you're finding new friends that probably align with your values and align with just your personality more than your elementary school friends once did. Drifting apart, growing apart, that's definitely inevitable. And an example from my mom, let's say, this is a different stage that we have not entered yet as 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. But my mom had a lot of friends from high school that she stayed in touch with during university, but when they got married, had kids, graduated university and got jobs, she wasn't able to speak with them as much, and that's inevitable, and ultimately that's on both parties, because I have a friend, her name is Mia. Hi, Mia. She doesn't go to my school, but we still put in effort to see each other. Like, I saw her this Sunday and we went to study together, and I think that even having these small moments, it's nice, and it's nice to put in effort on both parties if you really want to, but sometimes there are friends where it's like, I don't see you and we don't have similar interests, and it's like, I don't, like, even subconsciously I'm not putting in much effort to see you, and you shouldn't hate yourself for that. That is also inevitable, and that will happen with a lot more people in your life as you go through more stages, and like, you will get a job one day, hopefully, you are in school, and hopefully, and you will go to post-secondary, hopefully, I'm saying, but like, you will go through all these stages in your life, and not everyone's gonna stay, but there's not always gonna be bad blood, you know? And the second one would be betrayal. This one definitely hurts a lot, because, okay, I'd say growing apart hurts if it's like one party feeling like one-sided, right? But growing apart, usually, like I said, there's no bad blood, but betrayal, that is a different story. In my opinion, a lot of the time, betrayal is like a breach of trust in a friendship. Especially if you're in deep in a friendship, you've placed, like I said in the beginning, a lot of yourself into someone, and that takes courage. And when someone breaches that trust and takes that trust that you take seriously for granted, it hurts, and it probably cuts a very deep wound. And I'm saying this, and I actually went through a friendship breakup. Well, I don't even know if it's a friendship breakup or a friendship break, okay? Because I don't know how long this is going to last or if we're even going to reconnect. But this, I'm just going to call it a friendship breakup because that's how it is right now. But this friendship breakup, I was the one in the wrong. I was the one who breached their trust and took the friendship and the trust that they gave me for granted. And that's what I've been trying to actively grow from. And a lot of these things that I did were earlier in the year, and that's also something I want to touch on, is growing. You'll be friends with someone, let's say, I was friends with, let's mention Sylvia and my friend Clara, okay? Clara, I've been friends with her for like a decade, bro. Obviously, we are not the same people that we were 10 years ago, because first of all, I was 6 years old, but second of all, we grew together, and we've gone through many stages of our lives together, and the fact that she even stuck around this long, love her. She's like twin. Sylvia, I met her a year and a half ago, which is crazy now to think about, but we've gone through a lot of things together. We are not the same people that we were back in the 9th grade, but we are still friends, and we watch each other grow, and that's something that I will forever cherish, and something that I learned over this friendship breakup, but also just learned over time in my life that I will not take for granted. I trust her a lot, she trusts me, and that's something that's sacred and something that's special. Betrayal is definitely, I'd say these two are the definitely leading causes of friendship breakups at this age. And betrayal, it hurts, and like I said about the recent friendship breakup that I went through, I was the one in the wrong. And I accept that. I will take accountability for that. And a lot of the things that I did were definitely in the past, but they were still me. And it sucks that I even did that. Like, looking back at it, if I look at myself doing that, I would be disgusted with myself if I saw someone do that. And I'm not trying to use mental health or mental health like disorders as an excuse, but I have been in a depressive episode, an untreated one, for years, I'd say now, because when it's untreated, it can last over 12 months. Like, that's where I've been. And I experienced personally very high highs, very low lows. And for me, the untreated depressive episode and untreated depression, anxiety definitely influences my behavior. Like I said, not an excuse for my behavior, but it explains my behavior, and I've really learned that recently. Like, I was speaking to my doctor December 1st. That was 2 weeks ago. Speaking to my doctor December 1st about this. I only discovered this about myself 2 weeks ago, and it's still fresh new information, but it's true. Because my mental health and depressive episode impacted my behavior so much, that's a lot of the reason that I took the friendship for granted, because I was selfish. That was just a toxic personality trait of mine, but I was selfish. I was definitely made more irritable. I would be passive aggressive. I would project my feelings, and it was pretty bad. And when I met this friend, the friendship breakup that I had a few weeks ago, when I met this friend at first, I was super happy. It felt like a very high for me. But back then, I was kind of pushing away the fact that I was depressed with this friendship, and I think that kind of caused me to take it for granted and not really realize all the very valuable things that I've been given through this friendship. And now that I see it, like months later, gosh, it sucks. It actually does. That I can't take that back. Yeah, and we're going to talk next about I would say like moral things. I don't really have a label on this topic. But to touch on betrayal and also growing apart, it's in the word itself, growing, but especially on betrayal. And I'm going to use myself as an example. As the person who hurt my friend that I went through that friendship breakup with, I did the hurting, and I need to do the growing. In a friendship breakup, no matter what role you play, I think that you can be better than who you were yesterday. You can always grow, but you will also always make mistakes. And that means you're human. Like, you should never think that you're a bad person for making mistakes, because congratulations, you made a mistake, you're human. Like, your pain pays no debt. Like, there's no reason for you to dwell on that, and instead of dwelling, you should grow from it. You can't undo what you did, but you don't have to relive it. And especially if you're actively focusing on changing, you don't have to prove that to anyone. You don't have to be sad because you feel like you deserve to be sad. Regardless if anyone sees that you're changing and growing, it's your own perspective that matters more. The friends that have stuck around, that are seeing you for you now, and the friends that you will make in the future that will see this new version of you. Friendship breakups will teach you a lot of things. You will learn lots of lessons, and at the end of the day, like I said, it doesn't mean you're a bad person, and friendships aren't always meant to last forever. Like, hey, maybe you, like Clara, like I said in an example, she's been my friend for 10 years. That's insane to think about, but I think that we're gonna last a long time, and I'm glad that we're gonna last a long time. But a lot of the time, friends will just come and go because we're not all the same. We all deal with things differently, and that causes us to not be super aligned with each other, and that's okay. Friends are only meant to last for seasons. That's something that I've heard, and something that I take with me just throughout my life as like a motto, sort of, like just with my personal relationships, that sometimes like I said, it's not meant to last forever, and you will learn new things from it, and I think that's the most important take. And like I said also before, don't dwell on it, focus on growing. That is the most important part, is yourself. You're the only person that's gonna stay in your life forever, for the rest of your life. You're the only person seeing yourself every day. Focus on being better than you were yesterday. Focus on learning from those mistakes that you made, and truly, that's like super important. So there are a few more things that I want to touch on. The first thing I want to say, which is a super important point actually, and this is my personal value, so I mean, you don't have to agree with this, but this is just what I think. In my opinion, toxic people don't exist. That label doesn't exist to me, but people with toxic traits exist. Like, that's the only sort of way that I think I can explain that properly. I think that putting a label on someone, saying that they're a toxic person, it feels like you're at a dead-end street. It feels like there's nowhere you can go from there. They're going to be toxic, labeled as toxic in your mind forever, and whoever you tell, they're going to be labeled as toxic forever. And this is just a value that I adopted, like, very recently. But that's kind of what I mean. Like, I don't think toxic people exist because people have the chance to grow. People should be offered second chances, and I feel like a living example of that. Like I said, that friendship recently that I lost, I did so many toxic, horrible things, and I had so many toxic traits, and I feel like that's also influenced by my low lows and my depressive episodes. When I'm at my high highs, I think I can be super loud, energetic, annoying, super happy, super, like, oh, like, I'm gonna listen to, like, a self-help podcast and just be, like, great and grow and stuff like that. And sometimes it can get excessive, but when I'm hitting a low low, I can be jealous, impulsive. That's a big one, impulsive. I can be passive aggressive to my friends, and I've learned that's very different for me now. I think that when I hit a low low now, I kind of just get really sad. I kind of just cry and I just dwell. But that's something that I can't control. That's just my brain. But back then, oh my gosh, the way that I would act so irrationally, and I think I'm a living example of someone that had toxic traits, and maybe I still have toxic traits now that I'm not aware of, but I'm trying to figure that out. That's why I'm going to segue into this next part, how to heal. And this is how it's related. So toxic traits, that's something you need to self-reflect on. Self-reflecting is one of the ways that I put for how to heal. Like, I think that having toxic traits, everyone has flaws, everyone will have a toxic trait, and sometimes you're not aware of it enough, and you don't have the people in your life that can tell you that, hey, you're doing this and it's wrong. And it's quite sad when you realize, like, I've been doing this over and over and it's wrong. So yes, to segue, self-reflecting is definitely like the number one way to heal, in my opinion, from a friendship breakup, and just to assess your personality and then see how you can behave in future friendships. And if you made a mistake, not repeat those. If you didn't make a mistake, just, like I said, be better than you were yesterday. You can always be. Secondly, this is going along with how to heal, but with friendship breakups, I think no contact is super important. But here's the catch. I think a lot of people see no contact as like, okay, I will like not talk to you directly. I won't address you in public areas if I see you, and maybe even go to like, I'll block you or I'll unfollow you. But in my opinion, no contact is not only about focusing on the fact like that we're not going to talk. I think that no contact is a method to see your life through a lens of this person not being in your life, you know? Like, if I'm going no contact with a friend, I'm gonna be sad about it, but like, I'm gonna look at my life and see like what's different, what's better. Focus on what's better about your life, because friendship breakups will happen for a reason. Whether you're the one who got hurt, whether you're the one who did the hurting, it happens for a reason, because something negative happened, or maybe, like I said before, one of the reasons is growing apart. But see your life without this person, see how you feel. Maybe it's better, and most of the time it is better. Like, Another example that I can use about myself is like, I went through a friendship breakup in the 8th grade, but hey, at least I'm still alive and I'm right in front of you here. That's the most important part, is that I didn't depend on this person to the point where I still dwell on that friendship now. I've grown, I've met people who are better for me, and that's the most important. You will continue to meet people who are better for you. Continue to meet people that align with your personality, your values, your interests, and your beliefs more. And like, that's a good thing. And I think that going no contact and assessing your life from a different point of view without this certain person in your life, that's healthy. I'm gonna focus on positive things only. But also, to just clarify, negative things will always invade your mind, and it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you can let it, but that's why I'm going to segue into the next point of how to heal: talking. I think that talking it out, and even segueing to another point, writing. I think that writing out your feelings, talking to people that you trust about your feelings, that is a super important way to cope, a super important method to cope in a super effective way. For instance, like, I wasn't the only one who went through this friendship breakup. I went through it with someone else, and I talked to this person a lot about, like, oh, like, maybe I miss this person, or like, oh, I wish we talked about this, or like, oh, like, I'm doing this to get over it, or like, blah, 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 blah. And it's good to talk about it because it's a way to get over it. But in my opinion, one of the most effective ways is to write about it. And I am a songwriter. So for me personally, or you can even say, like, I write poems, I guess, but mainly lyrics. I will write a song about a situation, and I will like it, and then I will feel proud about it. And that is a way that I will reflect on it, because writing is also a form of self-reflection. Writing about it will help me reflect, like, help me analyze, like, each perspective of the situation, but it also helped me feel like I'm, at the end of the day, I'm proud of that song, so I can actually take something good out of that. But yeah, those are the main reasons I wanted to focus on. But at the end of the day, healing, these are common reasons, methods, but I think it's on your own accord, at your own pace, and your own methods. But I'm also going to share some things that have helped me. So this is my journal. It has my name on it. And recently, and for the past, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 days, 10 days today, I have been writing 3 things every day that I'm grateful for, but not surface level, like I'm grateful for my house, my bed, my food, like what, or like friends, family, sleep. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I am grateful for, and then I will proceed to say something specific, and I'm going to share day 1 with you. It's not too personal, so that's why I'm sharing it, but I'm going to share day 1 with you, and this is how I sort of started to format it. I am grateful for Hannah, who I get to see tomorrow at her birthday party, because I was grateful she invited me, and I hadn't seen her in a long time. I was very happy. I am grateful for Nina, who constantly shows that she cares about me and my life. I love her. This was at the point where I was voice messaging Nina about me being sad and stuff like that, and she was just showing so much support, and I appreciate her so much for that. And the last thing, I'm grateful for my parents, this is sort of a joke, who know that I'm a shopaholic but don't make me feel bad about it. This is mainly like, I'm grateful for my parents, that they value my happiness. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah, these are just things I wanted to address about friendship breakups. And as you can see in the title, I do talk about the aftermath, and this is reassurance. As someone who's gone through so many friendship breakups, through betrayal, but also through growing apart or drifting apart, I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't get any easier the more you go through it. Friendship breakups, no matter how different the person is from the last person you had a friendship breakup with, no matter how much you've grown, they will still continue to hurt the same way, worse, or maybe not even that much worse than before. Because like I said, you're a different person, you're growing, and what you should focus on is the fact that you're a different person. You're changing, you're meeting people who align with you more now in the present moment, and you should be grateful for that. But it's very important to understand every side, and to emphasize, super important to acknowledge your mistakes, acknowledge your wrongs, or if you didn't make any mistakes and you're the one who did the friendship breakup, it's good to know what you value in a friendship, and it's good to address boundaries properly, and it's good to be aware of who you keep in your life, because sometimes you place your trust in someone and then ultimately something happens and then you're like, I shouldn't have done that. And it's sad, especially to be in the other party, if you truly did make a mistake and it wasn't on purpose and you truly are a good person. Like, sometimes people do just hold toxic traits within them, and that's what I'm saying. People with toxic traits, not toxic people. That's a label that I don't believe in anymore. But people with toxic traits, just, it's good that if you're the one who started the friendship breakup and I guess initiated it, it's good that you know what you want. It's good that you value yourself over other people and trying to please other people, because at the end of the day, like I said, you're the person living in your own body. You're the only person living in your own body forever, and that is the most important. But if you are the person who went through the friendship breakup and was on the receiving end of it, I'm sorry. And like I said, it won't get any easier, but maybe it will. And if you find healthy ways to cope and you are able to fix those mistakes, hey, you're enough. You should be proud of yourself that you're even taking the steps to do that. And if you haven't, you should take the steps to do that. That's all I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to close this video off with a quote that Timothee Chalamet said in an interview, but it's actually from a poem, or it's like a reference to one of the plays that he was in called Prodigal Son, but I'm not exactly 100% sure of the origin, but let me just say it for you. You could be the master of your fate, you could be the captain of your soul, but you have to realize that life is coming from you and not at you, and that takes time. And I think that, to just assess this quote in pieces, you could be the master of your fate and the captain of your soul, but life is coming from you and not at you. So, like it says in the beginning, master of your fate, captain of your soul. You are living in your own body. You're not living in anyone else's body. You have your own brain, you have your own heart, you have your own mind. And you're the person who can fix your personality if you've made any mistakes. Fix your personality is poorly worded, but to improve your personality, improve who you are, improve skills, and I guess open the doors to your future and do things that can benefit your future, find your, these are just examples. Find the right friends, be healthy, etc., etc. You are the master of your fate, and you are the captain of your soul, but the next part says, life is coming from you and not at you. Life isn't coming at you. Things aren't constantly being thrown at you. Like, you're making mistakes, great, you did that. As long as you're aware that you did that, it's not like life is like saying like, oh, like, you made a mistake, now make excuses about it. You made a mistake, take accountability for it. And that's just the first step to being better. And the last part says that takes time. And that's what I want to emphasize at the end of this video. It takes time. For me personally, it's only been a few weeks since I went through my most recent friendship breakup, but I feel like I've already changed a lot, and because a lot of the things that we addressed through the friendship breakup happened earlier in the year, I feel like I already changed from that. I mean, obviously you'll keep making mistakes, but I feel like I've already changed from that, and I'm actively continuing to change, trying not to repeat the same mistakes that I already made, and that does take time. And it's been not almost a year, it's literally been like about a year since I met this person, and we went through this friendship breakup, and about a year since I've grown. And through that growth, I feel a lot better about myself, my personality. I know more about who I am, what I value in friendships, and what I value in other people, and what I want to be like, which is essentially what I value for myself, and that is what I want to live by. But like I said, to emphasize, it takes time. It's not going to be immediate. You're not going to wake up and say, hey, I'm going to be a new person today. That's not realistic. It takes time. And for the past few weeks, writing these gratitude letters, which I have been doing, and writing those 3 things I'm grateful for in that journal, because that's not the only form of gratitude that I practice, but in the past few weeks, it has been working. It's very effective. And I encourage you guys to do that. Writing gratitude letters, which is just a letter, it could be sent or unsent to someone, talking about what you're grateful for, how it's helped you, and how much you appreciate them, the 3 things you're grateful for, but go in depth. And I also have been texting a few of my friends occasionally, just saying like, hey, I'm really grateful for you, and I really love you. I think these things definitely help you appreciate life more, and we tend to take life for granted. So, yeah. So, like I said, I want you to leave with this lovely quote that I'm going to put in the description box below. So, if you want to like screenshot it, or if you even want to just Google it, that would be great. But it's an amazing quote, and it's something that I live by. And from this video, I just hope you take away like, you're not alone, and making mistakes means that you are human, and it's okay to make mistakes. And I hope that you can always be better than you were yesterday, and that takes time. So yeah, I love you so much. If you were mentioned in this video and you're one of my friends, I do love you. And if you weren't mentioned in this video and you're one of my friends, I still love you. But it's getting very close to Christmas, so if I don't upload before Christmas, this is Merry Christmas. And please stay tuned for my other video diaries. So yeah, love you so much, and I am so endlessly proud of you, and you are enough, and you will be better. You can always be better. So yeah, love you so much. Bye-bye.